Predictability. This year's Oscar ceremonies were said to lack it. As the night and awards went on, however, things became a little too crystal clear. Most awards went as planned. Christoph Waltz, Monique, Jeff Bridges, and Sandra Bullock all won for their acting. Both Avatar and The Hurt Locker won several awards, but here's what I'm angry about. The Hurt Locker won Best Director and Best Picture. They hinted all night that there was a surprise in store, and this was it? The surprise was a war movie? They've been cliché ever since cinema began. Ooh, we all have a soft spot for the war movie. Come on, guys, it's been 9 years since 9/11 and 7 years since we invaded Iraq. Aren't we over this yet? Well, at least Avatar didn't win, 'cause after all, Cameron spent millions just to prove he can copy a Disney movie. Scratch that. Several Disney movies. I actually kind of feel sorry for Cameron now, after he got his ass beaten by his ex-wife. But I suppose the surprise in this is that instead of siding with the highest grossing film of the year, being Avatar, the Academy chose the lowest. While the winner wasn't any of my favorites, this proved that the Academy isn't looking for what will make them the most money, they're actually looking for what makes a good film. But if the symbolism in Iraq had any part in the decision, let me point out my 3 favorites for Best Picture and explain why they mean just as much. First, Neil Blomkamp's debut, District 9, because it works on both an entertaining and a political level. It is symbolic of the South African apartheid and preaches powerful messages of likeness among all kinds. Second is Jason Reitman's Up in the Air, because it represents the economic recession that our country is in today and covers the viewpoints of 2 generations, young and old. And finally, Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire, because it is a classic story of rags to riches, a kind of story that won last year with Slumdog Millionaire. Precious is lined with brilliant acting and vision. Notice that my first 2 choices, District 9 and Up in the Air, did not win a single damn thing at the Oscars. Precious, on the other hand, got 2 Oscars to its name. Monique won for her astounding supporting role, and the film beat my other 2 choices to win for Best Adapted Screenplay. Now that was a surprise. Up in the Air screenplay was the favorite, and seeing as I read some of it, I can say that it's very good. As for Monique's win, I feel that she very much deserved it. She's mainly a comedian and had to look deep inside herself to play that part. Since we're on the subject of acting now, I guess I'll cover the rest. Christoph Waltz deserved it, though it would have been nice if Matt Damon got some credit. He's been ignored lately. Sandra Bullock deserved it 100%, for Julie and Julia was a comedy and not necessarily an Oscar-worthy film. Sorry, Meryl Streep. The one I really want to talk about is Best Leading Actor. I do not believe the Oscar should have gone to Jeff Bridges for his release-too-late film Crazy Heart. It should have gone to Morgan Freeman for his role in Invictus as famous political figure Nelson Mandela. Morgan Freeman is one of the greatest actors of our time, at least some people can agree with me on that. But he's recently been ignored for his roles, and so has the director of Invictus, Clint Eastwood. He's been ignored for directing Invictus and for his role in his last film, Gran Torino. You'd think since a legend like Clint is being ignored for his work, the film would get something else for compensation. But no, some has-been country singer steals an Oscar from Mandela. I was also shocked that Charlton Copley wasn't nominated for his staggering performance in District 9. Also, I was devastated to find that Neil Blomkamp wasn't in the Best Director category. He's directed a film like no other. He's evolving cinema as we know it. Damn it, why wasn't this film recognized? See, even Vicus doesn't know. Oh well, even though it didn't win any awards, District 9 was represented well that night. They did a good job of showing viewers the parts of the film that made it great, and even without the Best Picture nomination, it was still up for a lot. Now that Blomkamp's proven he can get nominated, I urge him to start another project and make it better than District 9. Maybe next time your film can get some gold. Well, since Blomkamp wasn't nominated for Best Director, I had no one to pull for in that category. It was a lose-lose situation on my part. Now I move on to visual effects. The only reason Avatar beat District 9 was because they chose quantity over quality. You know, it's the whole fact that barely any part of Avatar is real. Kudos to Star Trek, by the way, for winning Best Makeup. It means that some part of that film was real. Now we move on to Best Animated Film, another upset of the night for me. Great, guys. Disney tried to go back and made a classic with The Princess and the Frog, but you just turned them down. You just sent them the message that, Oh, we don't like Disney 2D classics. I guess we'll go back to making things like Santa Buddies. And if you support Santa Buddies, then you support all other things such as High School Musical and the Hannah Montana movie that are destroying the true Disney and making them a corporate butt slave to society. Okay? Now, since that's out of the way, there are 3 films this year I thought were shoo-ins, but didn't even show up here. First, there was 500 Days of Summer. It seemed like a Best Picture-worthy independent film, but come Oscars, it was nowhere to be found. Second, there was Where the Wild Things Are. Such a provocative film. I thought it would be nominated for something small, like art direction, cinematography. No? Okay. And finally, there's Valentine's Day. I thought maybe the famous director or the all-star cast would take something home, but nothing happened. Well, that's all the time I have for now. Academy, get your head up out of your ass. World, support some good movies, please. And by the way, Avatar, Alice in Wonderland just beat your opening weekend record. And Disney, you know what you did. Subscribe or I'll throw an Oscar at your face!